Hope you're doing well and looking forward to level 3 tomorrow, choosing your first takeaway. So it is a very exciting day. So from us, obviously, as a football club, glad we're not playing volleyball. That does seem, obviously, having an indoor facility at that level and that amount of players obviously takes a lot of work. We probably similar but a little bit different, given we're in an outdoor space, and we do have quite a bit of outdoor space. So probably just going back a little bit, although we obviously are in a Delta variant, last year did probably teach us a lot, and we actually had a lot of policy and procedure around COVID. And what we actually did here was worked with the other football clubs. So there's a group of 5 of us who were reasonably proactive, and we all wanted to engage and do the same thing. So there was some consistency in what we were doing. If I looked at some of the other codes, potentially rugby and rugby league, the guidance from the top level was pretty stringent and strict. We probably felt football potentially was not so, where it was a little bit of these are the recommendations, and you guys sort of look at them and do what you think. So what we did last year is, in conjunction with the other clubs, is set out some protocols and policies so we're all ensured we were doing the same thing. So whether it was here or just down the road, there could be no complaints from people or players specifically. We probably divided it up into 3 things: facilities, fields, and fitness. So in terms of the facilities, obviously each place is different. Some are council owned, some don't have facilities, some are privately owned. I think invariably all the clubs basically shut the club rooms, shut the facilities. It probably just became a little bit complicated, and that's a decision that we have chosen to do. And obviously at the moment we're at 50, obviously going to 100 persons, but we use third parties if in fact we can run. So we would contact somebody else, obviously a bar or a restaurant, and say, are we capable, or are you happy to let us come down and do something from that point of view. Obviously, the requirements around that are, you still have to obviously check in with your COVID. You have to wear your mask when you go in. You obviously can take it off when you've got a drink, but you have to keep your mask on to order. So I think invariably it's something that people just aren't too interested in doing, and perhaps the level 2 we're currently operating in is something a little bit different to the norm, and probably seen as being a little bit closer to 3. So that's sort of what we've sort of done on the facility piece. Fields, most of the juniors and youth, the junior and youth season has been cancelled. The only teams returning to play are our senior teams. So that in itself has made it a little bit easier. We have been working with council quite a lot. Obviously, there was some previous conversations about the field, so maintenance can't necessarily happen. So we try and work out where we can, in fact, go so that they can prepare the fields and get them ready for the summer codes. And specifically where we play, we've got cricket, baseball, touch, and ripper basically running around on the same field. So with teams that are training on the same night, we actually align them. We spread the time out and we put them on different fields. We provide all the sanitizer and everything for the players, obviously a 2-meter spread. You are allowed to play football in contact. So the rules are a little bit, different, I suppose, in that piece, but we do keep the teams well separated and groups of no more than 20. So come in, sanitizer, QR code, and then you leave at your specific car park area. We are actually playing games here, and we have moved down to that. So, we can do that, but no one is advertising for spectators. We've just basically kept it solely at, players at the game only. In terms of fitness, that's probably a really big one as well. So you've had a lot of people out of the game for a long time. And depending on the level you play, potentially your fitness requirements are something different. We play sort of in the local premiership. So in terms of that space, what we did before we returned to play was we actually did some fitness testing as soon as we could get back. So we did the Bronco test. So that actually gave us a bit of a gauge on players' base fitness level after the sort of 4 or 5 weeks off. That test was actually told us a lot of things in terms of bringing the players back into competitive play. So in the space of sort of 4 or 5 weeks, we had some players running a 4:30 Bronco and some doing a 6 minute. So there's quite a substantial difference there. So some had been running and some had not been running. So when we look at what we were doing and returning them into full contact in 90 minutes, the ones that were running 6 minutes weren't playing 90 minutes. They'll probably play 45 minutes. So we actually looked at the fitness testing before we engaged them and brought them back into the competition. Invariably, we do have a couple of weeks left to go in the season, so it has been great getting back out there. Everyone does really appreciate it. We did find, mentally, I think it's, it is a little bit of an outlet to get back out there. So that's kind of the basic stuff that we've probably been doing. I don't want to bore you too much more. I am on dinner duty, but if there are any other questions, then give us a shout out.